once, so it's okay if, even if you're not able to say it 100% accurately. So what is the factor theorem? Can you recall? Yes?
Ma'am, when a is any real number, then x minus a is the factor of p of x,
Right. So
and p of a is equal to 0.
yeah. So if x minus a, the polynomial x minus a is a factor of px, right, is a factor of px, huh, then what will happen? Yes, Amna? Mridula, anyone?
Then p of
Hmm.
a is equal to 0.
Very good. Yes, p of a is equal to 0. And we can say the converse of this is also true. And what do you mean by converse? It means if p of a is 0, right? So if you already know that p of a is 0, then that means p of a is what? The remainder, right? So if you know that the remainder is 0, then that means x minus a is a factor of px. All right, so this is the factor theorem. Now what we're going to do, as promised in the previous lesson, is we're going to talk about the middle term splitting. So we're going to first talk about factorization. Okay, what do you understand by the term factorization, Hamna? Just connect it with what you have studied in your earlier classes. How did you used to factorize numbers? Do you remember? Okay, do you remember when we used to find out the factors of, okay, um, can you guys tell me, if I ask you to find out,
by dividing two numbers, we find out
right?
that their factors are not.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so if I have, for example, if I have 24, how do you factorize this? Now do you remember there were many ways of factorizing? Do you remember what all they were? Yes, it's
Ma'am,
okay.
we can use LCM or HCF.
Yeah, that's right. So one of them was HCF, right? We used to find the HCF. What we used to do was we used to find it by this method called prime factorization. Do you guys remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so prime factorization was one method. Another method was just listing down all the factors of 24. So how do we list down all the factors of 24? Well, we used to say, now pay attention here, we used to say, well, 1 into 24 gives us 24. So what are the two factors um of 24 here? 1 is a factor and 24 is a factor, right? So then we used to say, well, 2 into 12 is 24. So 2 is one factor and 12 is also a factor. Then 3 into 8 and so on, 4 into 6, right? So we used to say that if, now pay attention here, and this is where we can relate it with polynomials. So we used to say that if 24 can be written as the product of two numbers, right? It can be written as the product of two numbers, this into this, or no matter how many numbers, not just two, it can be three, four, how many ever numbers, right? So each of these will be a factor of 24, right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is, now in polynomials we're going to do the exact same thing, but since they are polynomials, we'll have like different it's going to be a little bit lengthier than how we used to solve for numbers, but it's going to be essentially the same thing. So a factor, what you understand by the term factor when it comes to numbers, and what you understand by the term factor when it comes to polynomials, that's going to be the same thing. Okay, so now if I give you, for example, like in the previous class, we had 50x squared minus 10x, right? So similarly, let's take another example. How about 8x cube, or let's not do cube, 8x square plus 14x. Can you factorize this? So this is one whole polynomial. How can we factorize it?
We can take 2x as common.
Very good. Yes. So we take 2x as common. Hamna, are you understanding this?
Yes,
If it's
ma'am.
not clear, yeah, cool. Okay. So here we can say, well, we can take 2x as common. So over here we are left with, in the first term, we are left with 4x. And what are we left with in the second term, Hamna? What are we left with over here? Yeah.
14x.
Yeah, that is 14x. But if we take 2x out of from here, we take 2x common. So we have extracted 2x from there. So what do we have remaining in this place? Yes, Mridula?
7.
Yeah. So we have 7 remaining. Hamna, is it clear how? Did you understand? If not, just ask me, I'll repeat. Yes, Hamna, can you just like give a response so that we can move forward?
Yes, ma'am, I understood.
Okay, thanks. So now what we have done is we have said, well, this was a polynomial and these two are its factors. What are the factors of 8x squared plus 14x? The two factors are, yes, Mridula, would you like to answer this? What are the two factors?
First is 2x.
One factor is 2x.
And 4x plus 7.
Yes, the second one is 4x plus 7. So these are the two factors of this given polynomial. I hope this is clear. If not, you can just ask.
Yes, ma'am, it's
Okay.
clear.
So moving on. Now, what do we do if we have a polynomial like, let's see, 6x squared plus 17x plus 5. Now, the thing is over here, we can't take anything that is common in all three terms, right? So we won't be able to apply this method. So what we do here, this method is called splitting the middle term. Sorry. Yeah. So splitting the middle term, and Mridula said that she is already a little bit aware of this. So it might not be new for Mridula, but let's just revise this for Hamna, okay? So what we do here, Hamna, look here carefully, okay? And if you want me to repeat any point, just ask me. I'm sorry. So what we do here is we take 6 and 5. We take the coefficient of x squared, right? And we take the constant term. So if our polynomial looked like ax squared plus bx plus c, then we will take a and c. And what will we do? We will just multiply them with each other. So we will have AC. So what do we have over here? 6 into 5. That gives us 30. Okay. Now what do we do with this 30? We're going to do a factorization of this 30. It doesn't have to be prime factorization. But what we have to do is we have to think about, now listen carefully, we have to think about two numbers such that their sum or their difference will be equal to this number, the middle number, which is B essentially. So can you think about two numbers over here, something that comes here and something that comes here, and we add them or subtract them and we get 17. Okay, let me tell you what I'm talking about. So if I say 15 into 2, 15 twos are 30, yes or no? I want an answer from both of you. 15 twos are 30, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
15 twos are 30. And 15 plus 2 is 17, yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. So what we do here is we split the middle term into 15 and 2. So what we get is 6x squared plus, now 17x will be split into two terms, which will be 15x plus 2x. Okay. And then we have the last term over here plus 5. Okay. Now what we do is we take something common between these two and something common between these two. So what is common between the first two terms? Hamna?
And 3x.
Yes, 3x is common between the first two terms. And what is remaining here, Hamna? It's okay, even if you give a wrong answer, it's totally fine. Don't be afraid. Come on.
Ma'am, 2x
Yes, 2x. And
plus 5.
yeah, very good. Okay, then what do we have common over here in the next two terms? Yeah. What do we have common here? Come on, answer something, anything. Just answer. Okay. Does it have anything common? Yes, no.
No, ma'am.
No, it doesn't. But does it have 1 as common? Can I multiply both of them with 1? Now, is 1 common? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So 1 is common between both of these terms, right? So we can say that 1 is common. So what is left? 2x is left over here plus 5 is left over here. This is not 5.1, it is 5 into 1, okay? So now how do you know that you were doing this the right way? Both of your brackets should have the same factor, okay? So in these two, you can say this is one term and this is one term. Okay, so I just now saw Mridula's message. I'm sorry. And okay, all right. So in both of these, let's say that let's call this 2x plus 5 as something else, some object. Okay, let's call 2x plus 5 as, I don't know, t. Okay, let's call it as t. So we have 3x into yeah, 3x into t plus 1 into t. So now between both of these terms, what is common? Is there something common between both of these terms? Hmm? Are you guys there? Okay. Yeah. Hamna? So Mridula has replied in the chat box. Hamna? So T is common in both of these, right? Look at it over here, the blue term. T is common over here and T is common over here as well. So we have T is common, okay? And what are we left with? We are left with 3x plus 1. And what was our T? What was our T? Our T was this. So it was 2x plus 5. So we can say that this is equal to 2x plus 5 multiplied by 3x plus 1. Hamna, is this method clear to you? Yes, Mridula, you'd like to say something?
Ma'am, if we rearrange these two terms,
Hmm.
3x plus 1 will come at first, and 2x plus 5 will come in the place of 3x plus 1. So, ma'am, the answer will remain same, na?
Yeah. Have you heard about the commutative property?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What does it say?
Ma'am, we can write to rearrange terms.
Yeah. Right. So whatever expression is there between inside the brackets, you can treat that as one entity. So you can say that one bracket over here and the other bracket, let's say this is A and this is B. So this is going to be the same as B into A, right? So yeah, it will be the same if you interchange them. Hamna, yeah, we were asking Hamna. So is this method clear? Because I think this might be the first time for you.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
Hamna.
it's clear.
Okay. So let me just give you. Let's just do another one together, and then I'll give you guys a bunch of questions to solve to practice on your own. Okay. So let's do this. 12x squared minus 7x plus 1. Yes. So the first step. Hamna, do you remember what's the first step?
Ma'am, we need to take 12 and 1 and multiply it.
Yes. So this becomes 12 into 1, which is equal to 12. Now, what do we do? What's the second step? Okay. Hamna, think about it like this. I should find two numbers. Okay. I should find two numbers and listen to this again. I should find two numbers such that their product is 12. Something into something will be 12. And when I add them or subtract them, I should get minus 7. Okay. Let's look at the options that we have. So we have 6 into 2 is 12. Is that going to help us? Are we going to, can we have 6 plus 2 as 7, or can we have 6 minus 2 as 7? No, right? So 6 and 2 won't work. We have to think about something else. Think about other factors of 12. Something into something is 12, and you add them or you subtract them, you get 7. Do you want me to give you a hint? Yes, no. I need a response from you guys. Maybe we have something. Yeah, that's right, Mridula. Hamna, are you getting this? I want a response from you as well. If you're not able to get it, then it's okay. Just say that you need some help. We'll
Ma'am,
see.
3 and 4.
Yeah, very good. So 3 and 4. Thank you, Hamna. So 3 and 4, when you multiply them, so 3 fours are 12 and 3 plus 4 is 7. So what we can do here is, now look carefully, the first term is going to be 12x squared. Okay, now the next one is going to be minus, and this 7x, I'm going to split the 7x. So I can say 3x plus 4x. This 7x, I took it in a bracket, and this minus sign was just lying outside. So I left it as it is, and I inserted both of these things inside the bracket so that they stay safe over there. And then I have the plus 1. Now quickly try to expand the brackets, take something in common. So did you get it till here?
Ma'am, and plus 1, 3x will be common.
Okay, we'll come to that. Hamna, did you get it till here?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So Hamna, quickly tell me, what should I take common now? What should I take common in these first two terms? Hamna? Okay. Hamna, can I take 3x as common in the first two terms? Yes or no? Okay, I'm not getting any response. So we'll just move forward. Maybe Hamna is having network issues. So 3x, and if I take 3x common here, so what are we left here? What do we have left here? We have 4x, right? Because 3x into 4x gives us 12x squared. Then minus, and what do we have left in this place? We have 1. So minus 1. And then over here, if we take, okay, yes, yes, Pudula, that's right. Over here, if we take, there's nothing common here, so we'll just take minus 1 as common. Okay, just a minute. Minus 1 as common. And what do we have left? Over here, we have 4x left, and over in the next place, the last place, we have minus 1 left. Why? Because over here, we have taken minus 1 as common. So minus 1 multiplied by minus 1 will give us plus 1. Okay. So that's that. We have our 4x minus 1 is common here. So we take 3x minus 1 multiplied by 4x minus 1. And this is our factorization. Okay, thank you, Mridula. So this is how we have factorized our polynomial by splitting the middle term. All right, so I have a few questions for you guys, and just try to solve them quickly, and then we'll move on to the next one. So the first question is 3x squared minus x minus 4. Yeah, let's see who gives the answer first, and the answer, you have to give it in the chat box. Okay, so we already have an answer. No, there is a slight sign problem in your answer. Hamna, do you need some help? It's okay if you're not able to solve it very quickly. It's completely fine, and we all understand because it's the first time that you're doing it, right? Yeah. No, again, there is a problem in your answer, Mridula. There's a problem in the first bracket. Hamna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I was asking, do you need any help in this?
No, ma'am, I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. First, Hamna, just tell me when you multiplied the first number and the second number. So what are you going to factorize over here? What number are you going to write over here?
-12.
Very good. Yes, that's right. And it's very smart of you to write -12 instead of just 12 because a lot of students do this mistake. They write just 12. Yeah. Um, Mridula, again, your answer has a little bit of a problem. Okay. So, Hamna, what were the two numbers that you came up with for splitting this?
Ma'am, 3 and -4.
Very good. Yes, that's right. So, you've done 80% of the work. So, 3 and -4. So, Hamna, can you just dictate what the polynomial becomes after splitting the term? Just say it and I'll write. Yes, Hamna, what does this become? What should I write now? Okay, so we're going to write this as 3x square, and this we split it, and as Hamna said, we will write it as 3x minus 4x, right? Why? Because 3x minus 4x will give you minus x, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so plus 3x minus 4x minus 4, and then from here it just becomes really easy because you just take 3x as common, and what are you left with? X plus 1. Then over here you take minus 4 as common, and what are you left with? X plus 1. So essentially you have 3x minus 4, and in the bracket you have x plus 1. So Mridula, do you see your mistake now?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I
Okay.
taken the common as 4x.
Yes. Okay. So here's another question. 6x squared plus 5x minus 6. Okay, firstly, what is the number that we are going to take after multiplying this and this? What are we going to try and factorize? Yeah, would anyone like to answer this question? If you didn't understand, you can say, ma'am, I didn't understand. Or if you're having trouble, you can tell that.
No, I'm still finding that number.
Yeah, so Mridula, just a second. Do you know, so did you find out what number will we get after multiplying both of these?
Ma'am, 36.
Ma'am,
36 or something? Yes,
negative 36, ma'am.
yes, negative 36. Yeah. Now, let me know whoever finds out what are the two numbers going to be over here and over here. Okay, so let's do this together. What are all the options we have? We have 12 times 3. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to take. 12, we can say, one second. So we can say 12 into 3. But 12 into 3 is, or one of them could be negative. But you don't have 12 minus 3 as 5. You don't have 3 minus 12 as 5. So this won't work. What else? What else can we try? Can we say,
Ma'am, 4 minus 9.
yes, 4 minus 9 or 9 minus 4?
Ma'am, 9 minus 4.
Yes. So 9 and minus 4. So what happens when you multiply 9 and minus 4? 9 and negative 4, when you multiply them, you get negative 36. And when you add them, 9 and minus 4, you get 5, right? So these are the two numbers that we were looking for. So let's split the term. Hamna, is it clear? Yes? No? Maybe? Okay, so this is what we get. Now, what do we take common over here? Who's going to tell me what do we take common over here?
Ma'am, 3x.
3x. Then what do we have left?
2x plus 3.
Very good. Okay, then
Ma'am, minus 2 we take.
okay, we'll take minus 2 as common. Then what do we have left?
Ma'am, 2x plus 3.
2x plus 3. All right. So the answer, like, what is the final answer?
Ma'am, 3x minus 2, bracket closed and new bracket opens. Ma'am, 2x plus 3.
Very good. So this is the factorization. Hamna, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to another question. This, I'm giving you all of this for practice, or maybe I'll give you these for practice for homework or something. Okay. So I'll give you these as a homework. I'll send it through Sir, and you'll have to solve these and we'll discuss them in the next class. Okay. So right now, let's talk about factorization of, you know, cubic polynomials. What do you mean by cubic polynomials? Anyone?
Ma'am, which power is cube?
Yeah. So the
Ma'am, cube.
highest power over there is the 3. So it has a cube in it. All right. So let's say we have just a sec. Let me just open. Hmm. Just give me a minute. Um, in just a sec. I am not able to find it. Yeah, that's okay. Just give me a second. All right. So write this question down. Okay. Where's my screen? Hmm. So what if we have x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2? What if we have this? So since this isn't a quadratic polynomial, quadratic means the degree is 2, right? So since this isn't a quadratic polynomial, therefore we'll have to we'll have to go through an even lengthier procedure to factorize this. Okay. And the first step to factorize this type of a polynomial is, what you do is you take this one. Okay, you take the last term and you just use trial and error method. First of all, you have to list down all of its factors, all the factors of 2. What are all the factors of 2?
Ma'am, 1 and 2.
Yeah. Also, it can be minus 1 also, minus 2 also, right? So you have plus or minus 1. So you have plus 1, minus 1, plus 2, minus 2. So these are all the factors of 2. So what we do now is we put each of these one by one into the value of x in this polynomial and we see whether it is coming out to be 0 or not. Okay, so if it comes out to be 0, then we will know that this, like if this whole polynomial comes out to be 0, or let's just try it once. Okay, so first let's put 1 into the place of x and tell me, are you getting 0? So we have 1 cube minus 2 times 1 squared minus 1 plus 2. We have 1. Yes, who would like to answer this? Did you understand what we have to do?
Ma'am, the answer will be 0 here.
Okay, Hamna, did you understand what we have to do here? See, what we have to do is, again, I will repeat. We're going to take this number, the last number, okay? The one that is the constant. And we have to list down all of its factors. So we are listing down all of its factors and we have to take in account the negative ones as well. So we list down all the factors and one by one, we start putting them in the value of x, in the place of x, and we see whether the polynomial gives us 0 as the answer or not. So we put +1 in the place of x, right? We are putting +1. And yes, indeed, we are getting 0. Okay, this is equal to 0. Now, what does that mean? Remember, yes, Mridula?
Ma'am, if ma'am, after factorizing, ma'am, if the answer will not be 0, so ma'am, it means our answer is not correct.
After factorizing. So you mean after factorizing, when you have x plus something and then x minus something, you'll have 3 brackets over here. Why? Because the power of x is 3, so you will have 3 brackets. X will be 3 times. So you are saying that after factorizing, if our answer is not 0, in the sense that if you put 1 over here and your answer is not 0, then it will be wrong. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then it will be wrong. Why? Because after factorizing, you are putting 1 in the place of each of these x's. So you see, when you factorize a polynomial, it doesn't change the value of the polynomial. It just makes it simpler, right? So after, when you take a look at this polynomial over here and you put 1 plus 1 into this in the place of x and you got 0. So whether you factorize the polynomial or you don't, you will get 0 only because the value of the polynomial is not changing. You are merely rearranging the terms. So if this arrangement gave you a value of 0 when you put 1 in place of x, then this arrangement will also give you a value of 0 when you put 1 in place of x. Is that clear, Mridula?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try to understand. So do you remember factor theorem? What did factor theorem say? That, okay, so over here my a is equal to +1, okay? And this is my p of x. And my p of a, this was my p of a. What is p of a? P of 1. When I put 1 in place of x. So when I put 1 in place of x, I'm getting 0. So p of a is 0. What does that mean? According to factor theorem. Anyone? Recall factor theorem.
Ma'am, we will put the value of a in the equation.
Yeah, so we did that, right? We put the value of a in the equation. A was +1. We put that over here in p of x and we got p of a. Basically what you do is, just a sec. Yes, Hamna, you'd like to say something?
Ma'am, P of x is the factor of x minus a.
You almost got it right. You're on the right track. P of x, you said p of x is a factor of x minus a, right? Actually, it's the other way around. X minus a is a factor because x minus a is the smaller thing. P of x is the bigger thing. So the smaller thing will be a factor of the bigger thing, right? So x minus a is a factor of P of x. Okay. So, Ridula, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So x minus a is a factor of P of x. And what is x minus a? What is a? What is a?
Ma'am, 1.
Yeah. So x minus a is x minus 1. So basically what we are saying from the factor theorem is that x minus 1 is a factor of this polynomial over here, is a factor of P of x. So if x minus 1 is a factor, that means, now listen carefully, that means our P of x, which was x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2, this can be written as x minus 1 into something over here. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Why? Because let's say if I said that if I have a number 24 and I'm telling you that, well, 3 is a factor of 24, then that means you can write it as 24 is equal to 3 into something. So that's just the same logic that we're applying over here. So now what we're going to do, what should we do to find out this missing term?
Ma'am, we take common something in the equation.
Yeah, that's one way you could do it, right? And look at this example I just gave. If you want to find out this missing term over here, what will you do?
Ma'am, we will multiply by its factor.
We will say 24 divided by 3, right? So that missing term is 24 divided by 3, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So over here, can we do the same thing? Can we say that that missing term or that other factor will be this whole thing, polynomial, divided by our x minus 1? Can we say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Hamna, are you getting this? Because I'm not getting any responses from you. Is it clear, Hamna?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So just keep letting me know in between so that I know you're not sleeping or you're not completely clueless. Okay. So again, I forgot what a polynomial was. Just a sec. Yeah. So what we have to do is we have to say x cube minus 2x square minus x plus 2 plus 2, and we have to divide this by what? That factor. Okay. X minus 1. Acha, can anyone tell me if I divide it, what will the remainder be?
0.
Yes. Why 0? Because it's a factor, right? Okay. Now let's start dividing. Long division. Who's going to tell me what I should write?
Ma'am, first x square. Ma'am, we divide by x cube by x.
Right.
Ma'am, it will be x cube.
Hmm.
Ma'am, then minus
Hmm.
x square.
Hmm.
Ma'am, the sign changes here. Ma'am,
Very
the
good.
x square become minus x square, and the x square become plus positive x square, and
Right.
ma'am,
So this is minus 2x square plus x
ma'am
square.
minus x
And
square. Ma'am,
very good.
minus
Yes.
x square. Ma'am, then we write minus x.
Hmm.
Ma'am, in ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, we divided by x. Ma'am, minus x.
Minus x. Right.
It will be minus x square and minus x. Well, ma'am, sorry, plus x.
Plus x. Yes.
Ma'am,
That's right.
it will get cancelled and minus minus ma'am 2x plus
Minus
2.
2x.
Yes, ma'am, minus 2x plus 2, ma'am, minus 2 Ma'am, we will
Very
get
good.
-2 and -2x plus 2. And they
Yeah,
will get cancelled.
very good. Very good. Thank you so much, Mridula. Okay, so it turns out that that missing term that we were talking about was x square minus x minus 2. It was this x square minus x minus 2. So let's just write that over here. X square minus x minus 2. Okay, so this was the missing term. Now, is this completely factorized yet? Can we factorize it further? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am, by a distributive property.
Yeah, this one, splitting the middle term. We can factorize x square minus x minus 2 by splitting the middle term. So x square minus x minus 2, you have it right over here. Can you do splitting the middle term and factorize this? So let's do it together. So the number that we have, basically you have this multiplied by this, and that is minus 2. So I'm going to take minus 2 here, and I'm going to go a little bit fast because we've practiced splitting the middle term before. So I'm going to go just a little bit faster. So minus 2. Now what two things can we multiply? Can we say minus 2 multiplied by 1? Because minus 2 multiplied by 1 gives us minus 2. And minus 2 plus 1, this will give us minus 1, which is what we need. Is it clear till here, Hamna, Mridula? I want a response from each of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we split it here, x squared plus x minus 2x minus 2. I hope you're solving it in your notebook simultaneously. Plus. So our this term, we could factorize it further into two more factors, right? X plus 1 and x minus 2. So I can write this as x minus 1 as it is, and the blue one, the blue term, the quadratic one, can be written as x plus 1 multiplied by x minus 2. Am I right? X minus 2, yeah. So this was the whole process of factorizing a cubic polynomial. So I'm going to send you guys some homework questions, and we're going to discuss the answers in the next class, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. If there are any doubts, please ask. Otherwise, we'll end the meeting.
No, ma'am, no doubts.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Good night. Hamna, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.